1A. Listening and Speaking. Activity D. Speaker 1.
We moved to Japan as a family, and I'll be honest, I hated it even before we came. I was angry at my parents for moving us to a country so far away. And things didn't get any better in the beginning. It seemed like everything I did was wrong. When we met with my new school's head teacher, I didn't know I was supposed to bow to show respect instead of shaking hands. Or I would talk on my phone on the bus, but people would look at me disapprovingly, because it's not considered polite. It was a couple of months later that I met another English guy there my age. He introduced me to his Japanese friends, who, like me, were into playing football, both on the field and on the computer. Once that connection was made, things didn't look so bad anymore.
Speaker 2.
I started feeling more comfortable when I decided to learn the language. You see, when my boss asked me to go to Venice to work for 2 years, I was full of enthusiasm. Being in Italy, home of pasta, how could I say no? After a few weeks of being there, though, I started missing my old life, my family and friends. I realised now that all I had thought about before going was the touristy stuff, like the food I'd eat and the places I'd see, but not how I would cope with everyday life. I mean, I'm a really social person, and the fact that I couldn't communicate, even for the most basic of things, made me feel so depressed. The language lessons helped me get my confidence back, and then it was easier to become my chatty self again.
Speaker 3.
I started off for a great adventure, teaching English in Argentina. But the loneliness of the first few weeks was too much for me to handle. Everyone was so loud, speaking with their hands as much as with their mouths, so active, so different to the people in the sleepy English town I grew up in. I had read online that it was best to avoid contacting home, because it would make me feel homesick. So that's what I did. However, after about 5 weeks, I gave in and called my parents. It was such a relief. Hearing my dad's voice encouraging me to hang in there, knowing that my mum had already sent a package with some of my favorite snacks. From then on, the weekly online video calls to family and friends gave me comfort. And as I felt better, I got out more and was willing to meet new people. Argentina may not feel like home yet, but I'm getting there.
Speaker 4.
Having lived in London all my life, I just couldn't see myself getting used to this change, you know? When I followed my husband back to the small town in Sweden where he grew up, I moved from a bustling, fully equipped, cosmopolitan city to a small, quiet town in the middle of a valley. There were no shopping centres and not that much variety in entertainment. I didn't know what to do with myself until I started making jewellery. Then my husband's colleague wanted something for his wife. A neighbour saw me wearing a bracelet that was my own creation, and suddenly I'm opening up a small shop in the centre of town. 2 years later, and I wouldn't dream of going back. Why would I give up such a calm lifestyle where everyone around you is friendly and you never get stuck in traffic?